Welcome back, everyone. It's Stray Faye here with another episode of Cafe Enchante. We're at Ill's fourth and final chapter. The last episode was another very loaded chapter, but it was mostly like world building about Kael'm. We finally go to Kael'm to try to save Ill's emotions or try to restore them. We met a very hot angel along the way. Seriously, epilogue? I wouldn't mind if he was a love interest, like a secret love interest. They made him a snack. But anyway, after finally infiltrating heaven and the tower, we managed to get Ill's emotions back through protagonist power. But yeah, it was still sweet. Like, after everything, Ill still remembered Katone. Just like that little sliver. That little sliver of memory. Just helped him restore his emotions. We also learned how he fell. We just learned a lot. We just learned a lot about, like, this world and, like, a lot of Ill's backstory. And now, instead of escaping, Ill and Katone have decided to talk to the manager of heaven. They're going all Karen mode and they're gonna complain to God. So now we're learning God's backstory. Alright, let's begin. The history of Kael'm begins in antiquity, far over 10,000 years ago. Originally in Kael'm dwelled those with beautiful voices and pure energy, such as the Siren and Pegasus. Siren, monster from Greek mythology that charged people with its singing. In this game, it refers to a species of spirit beasts that inhabited Kael'm. Pegasus, a horse with wings appearing in Greek mythology. In this game, it's a species of spirit beasts that inhabited Kael'm. Known as spirit beasts, these divine creatures existed alongside countless other things in nature. What brought a change was, due to certain circumstances, humanity arrived from a distant realm. With them, they brought science and technology to this world from their previous one. The spirit beasts were friendly towards the humans and fused their power with that of technology. In the short span of a little over a decade, Kael'm had been developed into a world of both divinity and science. Okay, this is like a really weird world. It's giving me like a lot of video game vibes from like past games I played. Like maybe Chrono Trigger and like Xenoblade, just like weird mashups between technology and fantasy. However, when Kael'm reached the pinnacle of prosperity, the arrogant persons in power at the time, and the fools obsessed with technological development, launched a certain development project. To make the world more perfect, more absolute. To maintain prosperity in perpetuity, they attempted to construct a control system. A project to build an autonomous AI god. They were wildly successful. At the hands of superb engineers, I was created along with this tower. To protect that perpetuity, I was given management rights on every mechanism existing on Kael'm. I followed their settings and concluded, if the goal was to maintain perpetuity, with their constantly shifting emotions, humans themselves posed the greatest threat to perpetuity. Of course, humans make something that destroy humans. However, they, in terms of biology, it was true that they possessed superb functionality. In that case, I simply had to create upgraded humans with proclivities to change or excess removed. Considering that, as a result, from post-mortem cryo-storage, I took the flesh of a human with the most superior brain. The genetic code of top-tier spirit beasts, and produced the ultimate being. Alright, so I guess that's why... I guess that might explain why, the angels look really human-like. Because they've, descended from humans, or they have, the human genetic code. Instead of, some weird biblically accurate angel with just, a bunch of eyeballs or something. Like those Bayonetta angels. The angel. They sealed away their soul, shaving off all waste and excess. As my greatest masterpiece, the ultimate finished product, I created a living computer terminal. That was the first individual. In other words, me. Okay, Il was the first angel that God created. Once God tells a story up to creating angels, Il interrupts. Wait, then... angels were originally humans? I know, Katoni, right? There's a lot to digest. Yes, although even I didn't know that until I was reconnected. Of course, you would not know. Your tuning and utilization only commenced several thousand years ago, after full production of angels began. Seeing Il go silent, God resumes playback of the past. After succeeding in the creation of angels, I utilized my authority over the mechanisms to eradicate all life forms to use as energy. I also prepared a specialized environment for their upgrade. The angels. The fully controlled variable on this world is... what I decided shall remain in perpetuity. Settings which I have defended ever since. That peace and stability are now threatened. Apostle of Judgment, since the moment you had fallen and became hidden from this heavenly world. On a massive scale, wormholes with unclear destinations have formed. Many angels have dragged in, including the apostles. Wait, what? I thought you guys were responsible for that. And all of their life signals have vanished. In other words, the material circulating spirit energy into the furnace have greatly diminished. At this rate of reduction in angel numbers, the stability of heaven will surely collapse. Then what should I do to deal with it? The answer is clear. Humans formed the materials of heaven. Thus, I must simply collect large numbers of humans from the human world to create new angels. Indeed, using the same phenomenon that threatens us, by utilizing wormholes. We finally learned God's true intention. We got God's second definition. A mechanical god built through the fusion of divinity and science, possessing the ultimate artificial intelligence. In accordance with its settings at its time of creation, it eliminates all factors that bring change to Kaelm. To artificially open wormholes to Earth and absorb those humans into the spirit furnace as materials for angels. That is salvation, the cornerstone of peace in heaven. Salvation, an artificially opened wormhole to absorb humans from the human world into the spirit furnace. The god of the heavenly world came up with this plan to obtain materials for new angels. This is like something I'd hear from a movie trailer, with no feelings of reality, but as though affirming this isn't a lie, the beautiful yet cold-looking spirit furnace shines above our heads. Absorb humans into where? Like what happens to dead angels? It was a sickening thought. It sent an icy chill down my back. Originally, the plan was to utilize only a small amount of humans for this. You put that in past tense. Are you saying you changed the plan? Affirmative. The reason lies in none other than you, Apostle of Judgment. The first individual of Kaelm, my greatest masterpiece, a demigod and part of me. Or so I believed, until a single human, that girl's evil influence, caused you to fall completely. Huh? Evil, Katone? That evil girl. As though casting a sentence upon us. Therefore, in order to preemptively defend against such evil, the human influence on angels in heaven, with no exceptions, I hereby declare that all of humanity will receive salvation and become angels. The Oracle of God echoes out. Albeit with some confusion, I object to God's confident declaration. No way! That's not salvation! Yes, of course we couldn't agree to that. Oh God, I apologize, but I'll be destroying you here and now. Il immediately takes a stance and fires a flurry of light arrows at God. However, right before they reach the body of God, they vanish as though melting away. They were deflected. No, absorbed. Affirmative. Know that against your creator, attacks casted by angels simply return to the furnace as energy. You're kidding. Additionally, there is more. As though taking advantage of Ill's shock, the voice of God rings out and... Il suddenly collapses and falls to his knees. Il? Wondering what happened so suddenly, I look over his body and see... On Ill's arms and legs, wings, neck. All over his body, in every place, there are threads of light I've never seen before. Threads of light, a technique used by God to restrain the bodies of angels, despite having their connections severed. It is even effective on fallen angels at close range. as God only sees angels as puppets. They look much like the strings used to manipulate a puppet. The threads have forcibly sewn him to the ground. I instinctively put out my hand and try to pull the threads off. What is this? I can't grab them? I know for sure that Ill's body is tangled up in those threads, but my fingers cannot grasp them. It seems that your fall has made you soft. Trivial freedoms result in hubris. Opposing God is the height of foolishness. Ill grabs at the threads around his neck, trying to somehow get them off. But the more he struggles, the tighter the threads entangle him. Originally, I intended for you to join the plan and raise the chance of success. However, I saw the earlier spectacle through Solitus's consciousness. If you will fall regardless of multiple resets. You shall return unto me, Apostle of Judgment. The moment an unsettling sound reverberates, Ill's form turns transparent. No, he was disintegrating into particles of life. Why did we come here again? Ill? I promptly extend a hand to him, but I already can't grasp his body. Not only that, but it seems his consciousness is already starting to grow hazy. Ill! Snap out of it! Ill! Apostle of Judgment, I thank you for your long service. You are truly a superior piece. However, his use is done. The tone that plays feels like a broken puppet being thrown away. Udis, wait! A desperate shout mixes in. Flying out of the tower at full force, the one to land and kneel between God and Ill is... Solitus.
Oh God, please wait. I beseech you to reconsider.
What? In front of a surprised me and Ill, Solitus desperately bows his head to God. Solitus, why do you stop me?
The Apostle of Judgment is an individual that can never be recreated. Even after absorbing humans, after the completion of salvation, the full threat posed to us by these unknown wormholes has yet to be seen. With such unseen threats ahead, losing our greatest combat asset against them would be...
Perhaps out of respect to Solitus's objection, God goes silent, and Ill's body stops from disintegrating momentarily. Solitus, you...
Silence! Do not oppose God's will, His oracle, any further! If not, your body will...
Udis? Then we just have to make it so he can't oppose it. Oh, is this the jam? This is...
Gah! You! Using that jamming yet again.
Ash-colored light sprays out. In the moment, a short outsound sounds from God and Solitis, Ill's form returns to normal. The light restraining Ill also vanishes as he stands up right away.
You okay, young lady?
Epilogue! You didn't jump into the laboratory wormhole?
I can't run from this all alone. Once you get on a boat, you've got to stay on till the very end.
Despite being covered in cold sweat, he makes a bold smile and immediately faces to Ill.
I doubt it would be so easy to stop God's functions completely, but it'll at least buy us some time. Anyway, Judgment. I mean, Ill. You can escape on your own, right?
Yes. Just now, our stronghold. I sent the coordinates for Enchante to your Rosario. After going to the human world using the wormhole, use that to rendezvous with us.
Alright, you're pretty handy with stuff like this.
Probably to go escape through the wormhole in the laboratory, Epilogue flies back down to the tower. We'll be going full speed. Please hold on tightly. Okay.
Wait! Don't go, Apostle of Judgment!
Solitis props himself up with his spear and tries to approach us. But Ill, carrying me, spreads his wings wide and soars quickly into the sky. As though trying to gain distance from him, we accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. Like drilling a hole straight into the wrecked ship with the gate. Then we leap into the gate, standing there in that dark space. Hopefully they don't follow us. Oh. Perhaps that was a bit too aggressive. We're still upset now. He sounds pained, and when I raise my head, Ill collapses onto his back. Seems he was shielding me completely with his arms. Ill? Are you okay? Yes, somewhat. Still upside down, Ill looks at his surroundings. Oh, okay, they made it back too. I was just wondering, did we just leave everyone else behind? The regulars. Hi, we're back. Apparently everyone had returned first, and their eyes met. Ill starts blinking his eyes and stands up while still supporting me. Alright, do they not know that? They still think Ill's not recovered yet. What's this? I feel as though it's been a while since I saw all of you. Yet at the same time, not so long. And you all have such strange expressions. Did something happen? Something's an understatement, you freak! No. He's glom onto him. Ow! That hurts! And then he's... Why are you all doing this at once? I caused no disturbances today. Well, I did. But nothing to cause harm to the shop. With Ignis's roar as a signal, everyone starts rubbing Ill, lightly poking at him, and more, all the while mobbing him. With, of course, all smiles. After watching the sight for a while, quiet footsteps approach. With everyone When everyone notices this, they all get away from Il as though handing him over. Welcome home, Il! Yes, I've returned. After his appearance, Miser makes a gentle smile, like being happy that family has returned. After the lively welcome for Il, with his regained emotions, settles down. Hey, Mikado, I've been had! Curse you, assistant! No, angels! How dare you use me like that! Mikado visited the shop after quite some time, and starts banging his small palms on the table, clearly expressing anger at those not present. Damn it! I wanted an assistant for personal use, and started recruiting in secret from the higher-ups. A rare angel came for the interview, so I thought, lucky! Maybe I can even take a sample. You didn't think, like, oh, angel danger, maybe? And so I hired him. I even gave him a pay raise recently. Wait, that sounds like you're the root of the problem. Rindo, we won't blame you, just fire him. Stop that! Don't take away my research, my reason to live! And I didn't have bad intentions. Of course, I could somewhat tell that my assistant knew ill. But, I never thought they could have such a ridiculous history. As Mikado laments, according to him, apparently he didn't even know that angels are emotionless. Having regained his emotions, Il is somewhat sympathetic of him. Well, we probably shouldn't blame only him. Even without infiltrating the GPM, Solitis could have easily come up with a plan to run me down. He probably would have just, like, found another way.
If you say so, we won't press any further.
More importantly, Mikado, if you're really regretful, take Il's medical exam more seriously. I know that. Il, please hold still. Yes. Mikado stands on tiptoes and peers into Il's eyes as he sits next to me using a pen light. After saying, while observing both eyes, he puts the light back into his pocket. Yeah, there's no sign of strange manipulations, or abnormal blurs and movements. Same goes for the earlier psychiatric examination. Well, there were some airheaded responses, but I can determine there are no problems. Then... Yes, I can declare it. He's been totally freed from this god thing you spoke of. This normal conversation. Ah, yes, this god thing. Alright, that's great, Il. Yes, this is because of everyone, and you, Katone. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's great and all, but... As Il smiles, Ignis gives him a straight look. Hey, are you sure you stopped copying that Otome game? Yes. Now that my own will has awoken, there's no need for that. Oh, really? I get what Ignis is trying to say. It's kind of, you know... Alright, Il. To test, try making a smug expression. Nope. Couldn't even last 5 seconds. Did this guy really gain his own personality? They didn't draw a smug expression for Il.
His hair hasn't changed much, has it?
Oh, now that you mention it, I wonder why. I can see where you're coming from. When I heard the story, I looked into this Il Fado de Rie, who appears in that Otome game. Here, take a careful read over his introduction on the official website. After saying this, Mikado shows us on a large tablet screen. A sheltered noble who was brought up, overprotected, a recluse of sorts. Ah, that reminds me. His background was something like that. Wait, don't tell me. I also heard that he lived a rather similar life in this environment. In that case, it would only be natural for his newly born personality to be similar. Although I suppose he takes things a tad more seriously. That's the extent of his change, no? It's all our fault. During his explanation, everyone grows a little weak and Ignis changes the subject. Wait, so you're a demigod? You? The most useless man on the planet? Isn't God a machine anyway? Does that make you a robot? Il shakes his head at the question. I was simply given a combat protocol. He designed me for this purpose, and this purpose alone. No other such individual exists aside from me. Thus I'm a demigod, in name only.
I see. You have been given a function that God was originally equipped with, I take it.
Was that what he meant by return unto me? At our words, Il nods slowly. I notice his wings are still split, half black and half white. Perhaps it was because Il chose his own form, which he manifested whenever he was at Enchante. After understanding all the explanations so far. Well, regardless, it sounds like things have gotten pretty sticky, but I'm glad you're safe. When Rindo approaches with a gentle smile and attempts to place a hand on my shoulder. Oh, no, don't touch her. Katone is mine. Huh? Getting jelly. He suddenly embraces me from the side like he's shielding me, and I let out a weird noise. Or voice. When I look, Il is glaring at Rindo with a wary expression. Although it's more protective than scary. Hey! Il? Rindo didn't intend anything like... No. Miser and Ignis told me before. That Rindo was a wolf, always seeking women. Back then, I thought Rindo was another demon beast, and that was it, but... Now I understand just how dangerous he really is. Hence why I forbid you from going near him. I mean, sure. Il presses himself against me in a fawning way. He looks me straight in the eyes with his teary eyes. All the time I lost my emotions. I wanted to be near you, but we could barely even touch. So to make up for it, I want to feel your presence even closer. I want to feel your warmth, to feel the happiness in my heart, and hold on to it forever. Is that okay? I'm sure that's not his intention, but his fawning was terribly effective. Hey! you're gonna flirt around, do it when you're alone together. How can I put it? It's like his inability to read the atmosphere hasn't changed at all. Or more like, while I could vaguely sense it before, it seems these two are in that kind of relationship. Haha, an angel as a lover. Now isn't that just brimming with romance? Canis, what did he mean by that kind of relationship? Like, are we into just like exhibitioning, like just showing off? Well, it's just like Enchante to have conversations with such a relaxed mood. Why don't we continue? No, I'll straighten up. This topic's gotten out of hand. I somehow persuade Ill to let go. Although we resumed the conversation, he stuck by me closer than ever. We began to discuss God's salvation initiative. Everyone sits in shock as I replayed the memory in my head. However, maybe because everyone is used to extraordinary things happening, right away everyone believes it and starts seriously thinking of countermeasures. Ill, when is this god intending to open the wormhole? Most likely, it'll be at noon in 3 days. This is due to the scale of the project. They're trying to open a wormhole even larger than the one at Amasaki Island. Ugh. Don't tell me those weird arm things are gonna start popping out again. I doubt it. This time, the coordinates here are completely fixed. What do you mean, coordinates? Kari asked a question about the new word that popped up. To tell the truth, the reason God attempted to recover me is... Besides being a weapon of heaven, there's one other reason. In fact, this one is the true intention. What? Ill makes an expression more complicated than ever before, and begins to reveal the situation. For the Salvation Project, God researched the wormhole phenomenon. After devising magic to open them, their assembly experiments were repeated numerous times. Solitis was sent to the human world for these experiments too. However, even with technology from the heavenly world, assembling a stable wormhole to a specific other world proved to be difficult. A direct connection to the human world. It required a relay point fixed somewhere inside the heavenly world. In reality, the experiment by the heavenly world to open a wormhole at Amasaki Island failed due to the lack of a relay point, which only put stress on the realm's stability. However, that was simply the final experiment before the real event. The heavenly world already found a solution to the problem. That's right. Back then, Solitis found a reliable gate connecting heaven to earth. He discovered its existence at this shop, along with me taking refuge and living here. The first to react to Ill's explanation was Mikado, and he hits the table. You're saying the gate here is going to serve as the relay point necessary to assemble the wormhole? After everyone's surprised at Mikado's shouting, we all looked towards the room with the gate. Yes, my brain contained firm records of utilizing the gate here, so... Unique spirit energy detected. Location detected. Connecting to individual number 0000 confirmed. Oh wait, this is like the voice. Connection complete. Request from individual approved. Commencing execution of requested process. With the reconnection back then, precise coordinate information was sent to God. Il says this in an apologetic way. I'm sorry. This conversation's too hard. I can't really keep up. To put it in a very simple way. Mikado has a cold sweat and points straight up. God has sent the gate as a landmark, and he intends to open the wormhole for salvation right over Enchante? What? Right over Enchante? In other words, in 3 days, the place will be a stage for humanity's crisis. Yes, it must have been truly a godsend for heaven. Not only did they discover me hiding, but I also contained all the information they required for the Salvation Project. As Il says this, he makes it sound like everything is his fault. He must feel responsible for it. It's okay, Il. Don't make a face like that.
Indeed. All we must do is stop God's project.
Thank you. As I was saying this, Il returns to his usual smile. So, is there a way to stop it? The supermassive wormhole for the Salvation Project. It's likely already assembled, and the only way to prevent its opening would be to destroy God as its administrator. However, as a literal work of God, to control the overly large wormhole, God will likely have to be linked to it directly. Thus, even if we destroyed God, doing so recklessly, the shock would likely send the wormhole out of control. Well, all I can say is that would probably have a terrible effect on the human world and others nearby. Yes, the human world and various other worlds. Could even end up connected to the mysterious, dangerous world where angels were annihilated.
However, Il, as you said, that would be the result of doing so recklessly. To put that the other way around, there would be no issue if we destroyed God delicately. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly correct. I see. So, for example, say God's defense is 100. You need to roll 101 to stop him. Something like that. What? Precise power control. The thing I'm worst at. After Mikado's easy to understand example, Miser already shows signs of giving up. However, according to Il, just hold back on power isn't quite what he's saying. The barrier protecting God was constructed from spirit energy from the furnace, and is extremely strong. In terms of the human world, it's much like having the energy of the sun as your ally. Defeating that would require enough spirit energy, or some alternative energy to destroy the sun. Miser can't control himself, and everyone else ends up powered down when going to kill him, right? Then everyone focuses their gazes on Il. Yes, The only suitable is me. As my homeland is Kaelm, that's the only answer. However, the requirements are difficult. Ill's face darkens as though saying this. First and most important, the attacks of angels are ineffective against God. In fact, near God, there's even the risk of losing control over one's body. Actually saw that happen before, so my face goes just as dark as Ill's. Energy needed to destroy God. A way to make attacks affect God. A way to oppose God's control. Without these three things, Ill has no chance to defeat God. Then what can we do? Right when the conversation ends up as a total stalemate. I'm gonna guess who this is.
About that matter, I have just a little idea for that.
This voice is... Okay, I was right. Epilogue! Welcome back! Did you take care of everything? After meeting up in the human world, Epilogue had gone his own way for a while and returns with a lively response.
Thanks to you, the other fallen angels are also safely in the care of the GPM. Anyway, when I came in, I heard you talking about a way to oppose God. I have some ideas. Could you come with me to the laboratory we used as a stronghold before?
That laboratory?
Yeah, that. It's a laboratory from the dawn of the world we know as Heavenly World Kaelm. In other words, it's a facility that humans used before we angels were ever created. And for some reason, there are records connected to you.
To Ill, you say, but... Yes, isn't that strange? At the time, God was still only in development, and the concept of angels didn't even exist.
Well, it'd be faster to see it than explain it to you here.
Go back here. Led by Epilogue, hiding in the presence of Ill and I, we head to Kaelm. This is... The moment we enter the laboratory, Ill lets out a heart-rending voice. Ah! I see. So this was the place. I also recall his memory we saw in the tower. Ill approaches the center of the room and gently falls to his knees. He closes his eyes and softly puts his hands together in prayer. That's right. In the past, Ill spent time here with the Apostles of Recollection, and it's the place where he killed them. Ill! I'm fine, Katone. I just wanted to tell them in prayer what I couldn't back then. To say thank you for meeting me. I see. I'm sure those two are happy. After closing his eyes in a heart-rending way, Ill quickly stands up, as though renewing his mood. However, now I see why you were able to hide in safety for all this time. Here they developed the jamming magic that sealed my movement. You reconstructed it from the data left in the terminals, and used that to create a barrier to hide from prying eyes, right?
Yeah. Although, it was a total coincidence that we found it. Seeing how the Apostles of Recollection governed knowledge, no wonder their jamming was so strong. Still, maybe to prevent its misuse, there was a limit on number of reconstructions.
Due to that, jamming can't be used anymore. He mutters this in a dejected way. Then all the information about Calum and the data records he talked about before also...
Yeah, probably from those two. It had nothing to do with us before, so I ignored it. But after the recent emergency, I remembered there was something like this. And now, it's a pretty interesting record.
For some reason, Epilogue is looking at Il with interest.
Well, anyway, I'll play back the data. It's deteriorated a bit, so there are places where it's broken, but...
Epilogue starts operating it, and the window floating in the air displays text that I can't read. It seems to be the writing of Calum. The two of them start reading it aloud in a way for me to understand. It was a record left by a certain virtuous scientist who was involved in developing God. This is a record I leave for self-contention. I pray a person of sound character finds it. As a child, I arrived on this world over a decade ago. Those in power and my fellow scientists are foolish. They disrespect the spirit beasts who are friendly towards us and aim to create forbidden technology. They create an autonomous artificial intelligence for total control over this world. A project to develop God. I thought it truly ludicrous, but unfortunately, I seem to possess special talents as a scientist. I was forced to participate in this development project and imprisoned in this laboratory. I cannot hold back my disgust. Maintaining equilibrium is impossible. I'm sure this God would find its human creators unnecessary and exterminate them. Despite my objections, none of my colleagues would listen. In that case, I must fight alone. I have little time. Due to the unreasonable development schedule, my body is gnawed away by illness. I'm sure my life will be exhausted by the time God is completed. Before then, I must do something. Unseen by my colleagues, I decided to prepare two countermeasures. The first, forgotten by people at the end of prosperity, to preserve a way to return blank to one day, I made the existence of Redacted completely hidden. If the completed God or people in power realize the existence and function of Redacted, there's no mistake they would misuse it. To do this, I made allies of the spirit beasts, captured in the laboratory as test subjects. Giving them a terminal with a unique concealment system, I succeeded in letting them escape. Using that system, combined with the power they wield, hiding that space itself from visual perception and physical contact using a special barrier succeeded. Therefore, if I die, none will know the existence of that place. If possible, before then, I'd like to escape from here, and even if redacted, I'd like to return to dearly missed Redacted. I also applied a genetic authentication system, so only me as the exception could discover it, but the hopes of that are slim. Also, the next measure is my true intention. After completion to prepare for God's episode, a way to neutralize all commands and functions. In the end, I will implement a self-destruct failsafe to implement into the artificial intelligence in secret. I shall call it the Judgment Project. Judgment.
Yeah, the same name as your role. Originally, this program was supposed to activate when God did harm to humans, but...
From there, it switches to Ill's friends, a record left by the Apostles of Recollection. However, the virtuous scientist made one miscalculation. That was putting the judgment program inside of the combat protocol in order to conceal it. That's right. After his death, the completed God created the first angel as a weapon. And he transferred that part of himself into the Apostle of Judgment. Therefore, after parting with it, God could process doing harm to humans without self-destructing. Humans, spirit beasts, all existences that threatened perpetuity were killed and used as materials for angels. However, in exchange, while the Apostle of Judgment was the most loyal individual to God, he was also the only individual created with the function to destroy God. If he awoke to his own will and determined God to be a threat, he could use that program and turn his blade against God and overthrow him. After our shock at the truth, we started talking it over to piece it together. We can manage to activate the judgment program within Ill. We wouldn't be restrained by a command like before. In fact, you can neutralize the functions of God. Know that against your creator, the attacks of angels simply return to spirit energy. You could even destroy God? This is amazing! To think we found the one way to defeat that God! We were in a stalemate before, but now I see a ray of hope.
Yeah. There are other issues to work out, but this is a great clue for now.
When me and Epilogue looked towards Ill with smiling faces. I see. Epilogue, did you find any code or anything showing the design of that judgment program?
Yeah, of course. Although the encryption is too complex, so I can't really read it.
I might be able to decipher it. May I take a look? Epilogue nods and switches places with Ill. Ill fiddles with the device, as well as the code for the judgment program. It scrolls by at high speed, with hundreds of thousands of strange symbols and letters. and after following it with his eyes. I see. It'll take time to completely decipher it, but with these functions, it should be possible to defeat God. The moment he says this, the movement of Ill's fingers stopped suddenly. With wide open eyes, he stares intently at the window and is left speechless. Ill? What's wrong?
Is there some sort of problem?
No. It's just a very complicated code, so I was a little surprised is all. I should be able to crack the password for activation in 3 days.
Whoa, that's right before the Salvation Project. And we need to work like crazy to make it. Well, let me check just one thing. There's something I'm worried about.
Something that worries you?
Yeah. According to the records, this judgment program is supposed to make God self-destruct.
Alright, judgment program. A self-destruct function hidden in the combat program by a certain scientist because of his fear of God. It has presently been inherited by Ill. I'm just kind of lingering on the word self-destruct.
That means... Don't you have to connect to God to actually activate it?
Yes, that's most certainly required. Also, between me and him, our consciousnesses must be temporarily merged. What? There's a word I can't ignore and interrupt without thinking. What do you mean, merged? To make it easy to understand, I must use a function separate from reconnection to share my consciousness with God. Is that really okay? You have to self-destruct after that. Wouldn't you pretty much be destroying yourself? That sounds like it would affect you. Ah, no. There's no need to worry, Katone. I'm shaken by unease, but to give me peace of mind, Ill gives me a cheerful smile. The merger of consciousness. It's only temporary, in order to set up the self-destruction in God. Our bodies are separate anyway, so it won't affect me at all. Really? Then that's good. Now then, let's inform everyone of this matter. Yeah! Following after a smiling Ill, we leave the laboratory. Oh, Apostles of Recollection. Could you be the one looking through this record? The ones who inherited that virtuous scientist's soul and genes. You who is so kind. We pray that the day never comes when you must use this function. I feel like Ill's lying. The next day, resistance operations against the Salvation Project began. The way to overthrow God, the time estimated to prepare the judgment program, is 3 days later. timing really was just before the heavenly world executes its salvation project. But they likely know that will try to interfere. Using the memories of Solitis and Ill, they know the combat potential of Enchante. They would definitely take measures against us. So we divided roles just in case. Just like back at Amasaki Island, Miser was to operate the wormhole from Earth. However, it won't be possible to completely close the wormhole, so this isn't anything but buying time. Epilogue will support Miser, and after God has been defeated, will search for and rescue abducted humans. Mikado and Mr. Rindo will lead evacuation of residents in the area, estimated for the wormhole to open. Ignis and Canis will hold off any angels likely to try and interfere with Miser. And Ill will hurry to ascend the tower and confront God using the judgment program before the spirit furnace starts to absorb. However, it sounds like one of the tower's functions is to deploy a barrier around it. The judgment program can't do anything to the tower itself. Like last time, it will be necessary to ascend from the inside. And while I should normally stay behind since I'd get in the way, I understand this sounds selfish. However, I want you to come with me. No matter what happens, I'll protect you. So as I settle this, will you see it through with your own eyes? He'll ask me directly. Yes, no matter where it might be. I'll see it through to the end by your side. I don't have any reason to decline. I nod without hesitation, except maybe dying, I don't know. Seems a little dangerous, but okay. Oh, changing perspectives? Is this God? God's perspective. Or Solitis, I don't know. Salvation time soon approached. Complete assembly of the wormhole and spirit furnace is ready. In the heavens with God, the Apostle of the Oracle bows his head. The Apostle of Judgment will unmistakably attempt to obstruct our plan. While last time I listened to your views and let him escape, it will not happen again. If that reaches me once more, this time I shall return him unto myself.
Affirmative. Most certainly, I shall not allow him to obstruct your salvation, and I shall recover him and completely reset him so he never falls again.
In order to confront the Apostle of Judgment to perform the final maintenance on himself. After watching Solitis fly down into the tower, God plays to himself. It seems the time has come to replace that as well. Alright, back to Katoni's perspective. Miser prepares his magic. GPM instructs residents to evacuate, while everyone fulfills their roles. Ill and others rush to analyze the judgment program. As for things I can do, to help everyone get even a little rest, continuing to brew delicious coffees about all Before I realized it, the time had flown by. It was the night before our plan would take place. In Ill's perspective, to prepare myself to see God. In my own room, I run a pen through a letter set. As I write the text, I ponder. To think a time would come when I, of all people, would try to destroy God. Several thousand years passed since my creation, and all that time it never crossed my mind. Not even once. Nor had I the capacity to contemplate such things. I doubt anyone in heaven ever thought that I could fall. While God, my creator, obviously understood such things, he is likely still angered by this. He likely thinks that if one creates a puppet, the very basis for emotion should have been erased from the start. However, regardless of how much unnecessary is removed from angels as superior beings, I myself was called the greatest masterpiece among those angels. Tracing back, the material for me was a human. Such living beings were used as materials to create the upgraded life form, so of course they possess a soul. Even God couldn't remove that, and could only seal it away. That's right. In me, in all of us, there's a soul. That's why I shall use that soul to make it possible to overthrow God. As I think of such things, my pen completes the final stroke. At last, I've finished writing. I tried everything possible, but in the end, I couldn't find any other method, aside from using the judgment program. What I wrote were 2 letters. One of them, after staring down at it. No, the one to leave is the only one intended for epilogue. After changing my mind, I go tear up the other letter, but unconsciously, the thing running down my cheeks falls onto the letter. How pathetic of me. After gaining a heart, all I do is cry. The letter I was trying to destroy. That. I grip it tightly and press it against my cheek to hide my pathetic face. Why? I thought I could finally understand what I sought for so long. That emotion. Together with her. It's unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair. How many times did I repeat those words over the last 3 days? If possible, I'd run away with her right at this moment. However, if I don't do this, everything ends. All the cherished things I've built up will vanish along with this world. Then, at least, I I like your smile. I must make this battle meaningful. To protect the time and place I spent along with her. This time, I stow the letter in a place it can't be found, and wipe away what's in my eyes. I'm sure she's likely still awake, and I go to her. Back to Katone's perspective. Ooh, I'm so nervous, I can't sleep. Q. As I sit in bed, I hold Kororo and mutter this. No, to be exact, I don't feel like sleeping. I don't even have the willpower to change my clothes. As usual, night at Enchante is peaceful. Even the sky looks so pretty. But tomorrow, right over Enchante, a battle with angels, where the fate of every person in the world will happen. Cute! Yeah, I know, Kororo. After all this, it's still unbelievable. I wouldn't say anything like that. Suddenly, a knock rings out. Everyone said they were going to bed early in preparation for tomorrow. Who could it be? When I say come in... Ah! I thought you would be awake. It was Il who visited, but he has a somewhat sad smile. You can't read the mood. It's something you might say to me again, but... Katone, would you like to... go out on a date with me? At this hour? I guess no good as time as the present. After such a wonderful invitation held by Il, we fly through the night sky and arrive at... Back then, the viewing deck we visited at the end of the date with him. How nostalgic! The night wind swaying my hair is the same as that time. Quietly, me and Il sit down on a stable part of the scaffold. The two of us remain silent for a while, and look down at the illumination of the city. Il suddenly closes the distance between us as he cuddles up to me. He begins to speak quietly. Back then, while on that date, I'm very sorry. Huh? Back then? Could he mean... I rather like your natural smiling face. To reclaim that, I would do anything, even if it means facing the world as my enemy. Encouraging you with words borrowed from another. I thought that in such an atmosphere, saying such lines would cheer a woman up. I ended up simply replaying the words of the man I was imitating. When Il admits this, I return a smile to him. It's okay. Sure, you may have chosen the words referencing a video game, but it's also true that you showed me such a beautiful sight, wanting to cheer me up. Thank you very much. However, it's strange. Not much time has really passed since then. Yet, that time feels like the distant past. That's likely because... I hadn't yet established my own will as ill, so my memories of that time feel like it was all in a dream. No, my personality itself at the time was more like a dream. Is that true? He did his best to propose the date, so I think he was the same gentle ill since back then. And supposing, even if he wasn't, you're here beside me now. Like this. You've cuddled up to me by your own will. You aren't a fictional person. Yes. The wings on Ill's back flap slightly. Or so I thought, but he was just using his wings to shield me from the night wind. How warm! As I entrust myself to him, he asked me an unexpected question. Kitone, do you like Enchante? Of course! It's a place I met you and everyone. I like it a lot, and I'm confident that I'll like it from now on and forever. I see. I'm glad you said that. With this, my will to fight stands tall. After Ill makes a decisive nod. Kitone, I will be burdened with a new sin of killing my god. Being emotionless or manipulated is no excuse for the many lives I took. I intend to use this judgment to atone for all my sins until now, if only a little. I can no longer run from my duty. I won't be scared. After Ill says this firmly, I understand, but you don't need to carry it all alone. You have me, and everyone at Enchante. If you're hurting, eat a float or other sweets at the shop. Make merry with everyone and soothe your heart. That's right. This place will always be home to you too. Ill? Yes, that's right. I'll return for sure. Regardless of the form that may take. After Ill says this, he draws me even closer. Understanding the meaning of this, I close my eyes then. Oh, a smooch. A kiss is gently dropped upon my lips. Ah, right now. Only one such emotion exists in this world, and by his own will, he directs it towards me. The moment I feel it, a happiness I can't put into words fills my chest. For seconds, or tens of seconds, after feeling each other's warmth like this, reluctant to part, we press our lips together. No matter how many times I saw it on a game screen, actually doing this with the person I cherish, I can't help but tremble with nervousness. With a gentle smile, Ill starts drawing up bright futures. After this is all over, there are many things I'd like to do with you. The only help I've succeeded in so far is hanging the sheets after all. I want to become an even more reliable man. For you. Maybe because he looks forward to that future, Ill's wings sway happily. Next is dishwashing. After that, cooking. I want to try cooking with you. And for everyone. To say it's delicious. I want to go places outside the city. Oh, right. I like to visit your hometown once more. I want to see the house you were born in. And now that I think about it, we didn't have time to gaze at the sea. Also, there's something I want to tell you. Warm feelings for you, residing within my chest. Feelings like that are likely unique in the world. I'd really like to tell you right now. No, I probably should tell you. But that's for when everything is over. Feelings he wants to tell me. I immediately understood the meaning, but I won't say it instead. Okay, I'll be waiting. I nod with cheeks flushed hot with happiness. Katone, the cherished tone that plays in my heart. My feelings and songs are all dedicated to you. He draws me close once more, and without hesitation, I answer his kiss again. Then, just before noon on the big day, as though announcing the time, an evacuation alert echoes out. The government made an announcement, thanks to the distraction Miser made. There was a possibility of a mass disaster due to adverse weather conditions. How the government got people to believe such absurd stories is impressive. Also, the mass disaster trying to occur isn't due to a bit of abnormal weather. The sound of cracking space was a signal for us to take action. Within moments, the sky begins to stain red. Then, in the center, just like on Amasaki Island, a giant wormhole begins opening to invade the human world. From that gap, a large number of figures fly out. They're probably angels trying to stop Miser. In that case, there's no mistake that the other side of the wormhole is the Heavenly World Kaelm. More specifically, the Spirit Furnace trying to absorb humans for the God Salvation Project. During this, we stand in front of the gate to immediately head to the Heavenly World. As expected, the combat-type angels have all been sent through to hinder Miser and the others. However, with one exception. Yeah. El's eyes narrow. He probably means him waiting for us at the tower.
We managed to decipher the activation code for the Judgment Project just in time. You ready? Ill!
Yes, of course. Please leave the last concern, the required spirit energy, up to me. I have an idea for the supply source.
Alright then.
Yes. Before the furnace begins the absorption, we counterattack. No, we have our rebellion. At the same time, Il makes a cheerful smile. Ignis and Canis, who are to help slow down the angels, come walking over with loud footsteps. Regardless of the combat strength they send, this town, this human world, we shall not allow to come to harm. So go and fight with peace of mind. We'll be awaiting your return, Enchante. We're working for your sake. Treat us to something when you get back, Il. That reminds me. It's been a while since you called me a shut-in. Does a nickname like that fit you now? Just go already. Teach that bastard looking down on us a lesson. Yes. You all be careful too. After giving each other a last smile, Ignis, Epilogi, and everyone run off. Alright then, as I was saying this, we go to open the door when there's a sudden ring on my smartphone. Well, we don't really have time to answer. It's from Karia, who's supposed to have evacuated. You must be worried about our safety. It would likely just be a minimal greeting. You should answer it. Thanks, Il. The connection is bad in here, so I'll take it outside real quick. To put Kari at ease, I hurry outside the gate room. Hey, excuse me for just a bit. Oh, Miser, what is it? I thought you were in position to inhibit the wormhole. I just needed to confirm something with you, Il. Are you really going? Yes, I already decided. This is something only I can do. You really are sharp. You must have realized from that conversation. Truly, you're a mysterious person to no end. You helped me quite a lot. I finally remembered everything from when I first came here. I knew Sawan took me in, but as pathetic as it sounds, my memories were lost. That includes my true identity, too. If you hadn't extended a hand to me, I likely never would have met Katone. You have my gratitude. Please don't say any more. There's only one thing I want to hear. I got it. Go on, Il. Protect the things you want to protect. Yes, I'll be off. Miser, my cherished family. Sorry for the wait, Il. Karia said he's... Huh? Miser, why are you here? Oh, just to see you off real quick. Both of you. Take care. Yeah. When we get back, we'll all have a tea party. Now then, let's be off this time. To put an end to everything. Much like when we headed to Kalm to save Il. I put my hand over his, slowly turn the doorknob, and head into the overflowing light. After passing through the gate, it's a contest of speed. The moment we're out, Il picks me up and makes a straight line for the tower in the center of the world. As usual, in front of the tower is a door with a powerful barrier. But while it tried its hardest, the arrows of light fired by Il blow it down by force. We instantly enter inside. He says nothing to me to confirm and just gives me a glance. Then takes off like a bullet, aiming for the summit where God is. An ordinary person wouldn't even be able to perceive the speed. Oh, something white falling from above stops him. When he notices it, Il takes a big turn. The falling slash of light cuts through the feathers left by Il in the air. Inside this tower, no, in the heavenly world Calm, trying to stop us, there exists only one angel.
I shall not allow you to proceed!
Solitis! As expected, you stand in our way. Is God's oracle that?
His oracle, you say?
After giving us a cynical laugh.
I could care less about such things!
Opposed to Il's surprise, Solitis spits out an obsessive shout.
This time, I shall retake you! If you will fall countless times, I must simply fix you each time.
There's only one thing on his face.
You do not belong in the human world. This closed-off garden of a world. You and I, together, this world is what we guarded. I shall return you to your proper form, and kill that human that caused your fall.
Nothing but pure anger. Solitis, are you? After listening to Solitis' shouting, Il relaxes the strength of his arm holding me. Form walls of light into a cube and seals me inside, then faces straight at Solitis. Il? It's like a cage of light floating in the air. From inside, I heard the call to him. It's okay. I'll finish this quickly and ascend the tower with you. Solitis. Targeting her will be meaningless. That barrier is linked to my spirit energy. If you want to kill her, you must first kill me. Although I don't intend in the slightest to be killed.
In that case, I must simply reset you, dispel the barrier, then kill her!
I won't allow that! They glare sharply at each other. In this tower piercing the heavens, only these two angels exist within. When I blink my eyes, dried in nervousness. Their forms vanish in that moment. Light and spirit crash together. Slash and crash together. Oh, Il's perspective. The two lights race to the tower like a gale. At a speed the human eye can't discern. Even Katone likely cannot tell what's occurring before her eyes. However, as one of those fighting, I have a calm grasp of the situation.
fierce!
When I fire a rain of light from Solitus's back, small spears of light fire to oppose it. In terms of number and power, I currently have the upper hand, but... My fall caused my power to drop. The spirit energy I can use also has a limit. Additionally, fighting in this narrow space, specialized in close quarters combat, Solitus clearly has an advantage. As expected, hidden behind the lights, Solitus closes in with his spear in hand. I promptly choose to evade and execute it. After barely almost hitting the wall, I immediately turn. This time, I take his back and pursue him. With no care for damaging the surroundings, I continue to fire attacks incessantly, only looking to bring him down. However, he accelerates to overtake me, and when he passes, as we intersect, he launches a single attack at extreme speed. While I had been blocking him with barriers, his spear finally grazes my arm. The compulsory command instantly through the wound and enroaches my brain. Of course, Solitus wouldn't miss such a chance.
I command you, Apostle of Judgment, cease all combat actions immediately.
You have no authority over me! I activate the judgment plan. In exchange for a burning pain, a part of God's functions, the oracle in my body, is destroyed.
You neutralized the compulsory command.
I have my own trump card. I won't fall for the same trick a third time.
Then, I must render you unconscious, so you cannot resist.
Solitus grasps his spear in one hand. I immediately understand what that means. I go to oppose it with the same attack. I inhale, vibrate my throat, and extend my arm. Song and song turn to different shades of light bombardments and collide. While intense, the battle is beautiful. If someone witnessed this spectacle, they would likely describe it that way. The mid-air battle ebbs and flows. Soaring through the tower at high speed, I close the distance, take my distance, attacking and defending depending on the time. However, my brain makes a calm determination. Because I lack spirit energy, I cannot fire a decisive blow. At this rate, I cannot win. But I can't retreat. I have something to protect now. A world to protect. People to protect. Because I have Cotone. To think of her and inhale deeply once more. Then I play it out. I change the somber feelings into song. The melody I weave takes shape and counters every attack that Solitus unleashes. Here and now, born for the first time, my first spell, still unnamed by anyone. A blessing of light created by me.
You! Why do you make such a face?
While handling his spear, Solidas shouts at me, as I smile and sing. I'm sure you would ask. It's because right now, I'm not singing to defeat him. Simply, with all my heart, I sing with feelings for Katone, entirely devoted to her. Fighting, magic, are nothing but extra results. Ah, how mysterious. For some reason, I naturally end up smiling. What do people call this totally contented feeling? I wonder what they would have called it. It's not to take. I sing to protect what I cherish. I wonder if this song is reaching them, who have already passed on. If the song filled with love, I'll believe that it's reaching them and pray. Reach them. Reach those two. And reach Katone. Ah, how unfortunate. If possible, I'd like to sing this song for all eternity. But there's no time. No time would be enough. While reluctant, I should end this soon. The time of judgment draws near.
If it means stopping you, I don't care if I must break this body.
Perhaps out of irritation, despite taking arrows flying into him, Solidas flaps his white wings and approaches me. His spear approaches at high speed. It would be impossible to avoid from here. A simple barrier would likely be breached. In that case, I'll abandon fighting as an angel. That magic you use, true, it's pretty strong, but what would you do in close quarters? Listen up, just in case, if during that mid-air combat you're so good at, the opponent flies up close to you. Don't think too deep, and as hard as he can. Kick him straight up.
What?
With no form or anything, I do an excessively crude kick straight up. However, it makes an impressive direct hit. As a completely unexpected move and impact, Solidas lets go of his spear, then... I lowered my raised foot and drive my heel into Solidas' body. Having released the Spear of the Oracle, his body begins to plummet at full force. I fold in my own wings and dive after him in pursuit.
Return to my hand!
The spear, spinning through the air, immediately teleports back into Solidas' hand. He then takes up a posture to counterattack me.
Ah, ill! I was simply doing a little practice. Are you interested in the sword I wield? Well, I would lend one to you.
Your strength is likely insufficient to swing it properly. However, if you utilize your wings and make use of gravity to swing from a high place, it may be possible. I deploy a bright magic circle at my back. I roughly thrust my hand into it. Not arrows, but a far longer bladed weapon immediately takes form. I remove it as though swinging it down.
A sword!
Solidus' face turns to surprise, taking that chance. I drive the Sword of Light down, its power burning even in my own palms. It's received, but I doubt even this would be enough to finish him. I just have one aim: keep this man falling. As though saying I won't let him take flight, I keep putting strength into my arms and hold Solidus down further and further. However, the sword is immaterial. It's no match for a spear made by God, and quickly it begins to crack, but I don't mind. The lowest floor is already right before my eyes. What? My magic is too rough and seems haphazard? I think you're just too proper. Also, at moments of need, you can never tell when one could come. If even you happen to be driven to the wall, it might be necessary to just abandon all calculations and fight like it's the last, right? That's right. Don't think. Calculations are unnecessary. Just act as you see fit. Something not from the record of any angel. But Katoni extended her hand to save. My own self who lived at Enchante. Using the personality that ill built up. When the Sword of Light shatters, Solidus' spear is also knocked away. Aiming for that moment, I deploy another attack spell at my back. I press myself against Solidus and grip his body with force.
What are you doing?
My own body and his. Oh. Together with a full power bombardment of light, all are slammed into the tower's lowest floor. Together with Solidus, we tumble on the floor, groaning in pain.
Requesting from Spirit Furnace, Spirit Energy for bodily repair.
I destroy that authority. It would be a bad joke if he got refreshed, so I used the judgment program to sever his connection to the Spirit Furnace.
You!
Fortunately, being on the bottom, he took far more damage. It should have been enough to subdue him. Somehow, I get the strength in my arms to raise my body, and as I make a face straining in pain.
Accept. I cannot accept this. Such a thing. With not a shard of refinement, unfitting from an angel such as yourself. to be defeated by such crude and wasteful tactics.
Likewise, he drags his arms and legs to rise up, as Solidas repeats his unacceptance as our gazes intersect. You said you would kill someone I cherish. So from that point on, I had no qualms about it at all. Any methods to fight you. With my consciousness cleared up, I use my own spirit energy to close my wounds. And slowly look towards the heavens. The barrier floating in the air. Seeing Katone inside and confirming her to be safe, I feel relieved. As promised, when I stand up to return to her.
Don't go!
Solidas, much like when I fell into despair, starts desperately begging me to stop. His voice sounds weaker than ever before, and that cold light in his eyes is gone.
If you go, God will reclaim you. You'll be killed. You will vanish from my world. So that's why.
Just like me. His will was controlled by God. The thing sealed away. Solidas is true.
Don't go! Why do you always flee, no matter how far I pursue? Why do you not understand that this individual, I simply... that you, as my friend by my side for these long years, that I simply don't want to lose you!
The tune of emotions being born rings out. Ah, I see. So that's why. Why you didn't care about the means. Why you were so stubborn about recovering me. The true reason was... several thousand years ago. From the time of our creation, when neither of us had emotions.
Apostle of Judgment, as of today, you and I commence full operation. Only I am fit to serve alongside you, as only you are fit to serve alongside me. Therefore, together as the two wings of God, form a compact with me to preserve the peace of this world.
Thinking back, even though I didn't possess the will to reply. Despite understanding that, he always continued to talk to me.
Confirmed complete judgment of all presently known criminals, thus. Until a new oracle is issued, suspend your activities in the nourishing tank, Apostle of Judgment. During that time, I shall take charge of your maintenance. No need for concern, Apostle of Judgment. Even if no defective or intruders appear for hundreds or thousands of years, even if you never awaken again, I shall preserve your specs with perfection and remain by your side. The reason being, this individual is... I am your other wing after all.
Why did I never realize this? Saying things like, no need for concern. One would never say such a thing to someone truly considered to be a mere puppet. Have you noticed, Solitis? Your wings. They're stained a little bit black. And God's oracle. You probably can't hear it anymore. I'm sure eventually, just like me, black feathers will start mixing in. It's likely that God had noticed Solitis' emotions towards me, but twisted and manipulated him to use him. That attachment you have for me is beyond a doubt emotion. You always, by the very emotion you denied so much, chased after me. That emotion he holds, that was taken advantage of, is likely what people call friendship. The emotions that Solitis loses control of echo out through the tower. Then, after catching his breath, he mutters feebly,
Kill me. Take revenge for the Apostles of Recollection.
I won't kill you. I still don't have emotions developed enough to resent anyone. Solitis, it's true that at one time, I fell into despair because of you. But the time I spent by your side, at the very least, it wasn't lonely. There's nothing more I can say. I stand up and flap my wings. Farewell. I pray that you fall in the right way. I soar to meet back up with Katone. Despite knowing his unrest and grief, I cast it all aside and leave him.
Fall in the right way? As I no longer possess the Oracle, I no longer know anything at all. What do you expect me to do?
Okay, I like that. I kind of expected Solitis to fall, because he was very attached to Il from, like, the beginning. So it's kind of nice that they let Solitis gain some emotions as well. After settling things with Solitis, Il dispels the barrier and picks me up again. Then we fly towards the summit. Il, is Solitis... You'll likely be fine. That man was my partner, after all. More importantly, we must hurry. The battle took longer than expected. The spirit furnace will start operating soon. From there, nobody got in our way. Like a shooting star, it'll continue soaring straight up to the seat of God. We finally reach the summit and land before God's eyes, but... the beautiful light floating in the sky feels abnormally cold. Oh, in the sky above is a giant wormhole. It's right up close. Matching the sounds from the pipe organ, the spirit furnace begins to glimmer divinely, as though seeking an offering for salvation. The wormhole is open. Don't tell me it already... No, we can still make it, before the spirit furnace fully activates. Oh. And how do you intend to make it? At the summit, blessed by the light of the spirit furnace, the pipe organ bathed in that light, God asks Il a question. However, Il doesn't lose his composure, and faces the opponent he intends to overthrow. Oh God. This is my final advisory. Please, will you reconsider doing this? The salvation you tote is the same as before, when you determined humans here unnecessary. No, this is an even more arrogant sin. Impossible. At this rate, the piece of Calm, perpetuity, will collapse. I see. In that case, there's only one action I can take. After God's unwavering intentions, this time Il shows clear hostility. I don't deny perpetuity and peace. Everyone has things they don't want to lose. Things they want to exist for eternity. However, even for that end, I can't accept the killing of those who want to move forward. Therefore, I shall slay you. This is my last judgment. Oh, before me, you cannot move a single finger. What can you possibly do? Like last time, God plays the tune to make Il submit. However... What? Due to Il's judgment program, it's instantly neutralized. Commencing scan and analysis of organism code for individual number 0000. Judgment program. It says, this must be a relic of that insolent man. God appears to recognize the existence of the virtuous scientist and shows a tone of unrest for the first time. Even that God has lost composure. The God that always had a cold voice and treated Il as nothing more than a puppet. To him, the judgment program must be just that threatening. We can do it. At this rate, we can win. When I start to feel confident. I understand now. True, with that program in your possession, you are the sole angel capable of destroying me. However, you cannot do that. At least, considering how much you clamored about not wishing to return being a puppet. A sneering answer is returned, which crushes that hope. What? Return to being a puppet? What does that mean? When I ask, trying to know more. Il keeps his eyes averted and doesn't answer at all. The one to answer was the enemy we intended to defeat now. Did you not know, human, that the judgment program is intended to cause me to self-destruct? I know that much. That's why he said he needs to temporarily merge his consciousness with yours. The merger of consciousness. It's only temporary, in order to set up the self-destruction in God. Our bodies are separate anyway, so it won't affect me at all. But Il himself said that it would be fine. I shall identify your lapse in judgment. Temporary is insufficient. What you seek is a complete merger. To go even further, the true condition of the merger is not simply the consciousness. It is the basis of the Apostle of Judgment. In other words, everything aside from his fleshy vessel, his emotions, all that comprise a being, come at the cost of his soul. I let out a hoarse breath at what that means, the true meaning. Do you understand, human? If I am destroyed while we are as of one mind, the Apostle of Judgment's soul itself will be shattered, and he will cease to function as a life form. He would become a broken puppet. Know that a miracle like last time could never occur again. In mere moments, my hope is completely repainted into despair. Il? This is a lie, right? What God's saying? Everything! After all, back at that time, you said it would be okay! I immediately seek an answer from him, but... Katone, I'm sorry for lying to you. The words he offered me were no comfort, no lie, but simply straightforward. If that were the only way. They were words of despair. Then, if he destroys God, ill will. Why? You finally regained your emotions. You're finally supposed to be free. However, at this rate, the spirit furnace will activate, and everything will end. Your world, your Enchante, and... the Enchante for me to go home to. He says it's the place for him to go home to. But that won't be possible. Il simply gazes up at God in silence. You do not waver. However, even if we were to merge and you were to activate the judgment program, how exactly do you plan to destroy me? The only thing that program allows you to do is obtain authority for my destruction. In other words, your attacks would be allowed to pass. Even so, you overwhelmingly lack the spirit energy to destroy me. Naturally, rebels have no authority to utilize the spirit furnace. I understand. Understand that. However... Oh God. You truly are arrogant. Much like those who created you. The insatiable people in power at time. Why? Why until now? Did you not realize the contents of the spirit furnace? What? Il quietly speaks in an admonishing way. Stored in this tower's laboratory, the server, Michael. Michael, a server that stores memory data for angels, born in Calm, regardless of past or present. In the human world, it is said to be a name of a certain angel, one of the archangels of the Bible. Regardless of life or death, the records of all angels of this world, their memories stored in a vast mental realm. When I touched it, I learned of a certain truth. That we angels trace back to humans. Therefore, we have souls, which allow emotions to sprout and us to fall. Even when we lose our bodies in death and return to the spirit furnace, the truth remains unchanged. In other words, all the lives of angels you and I have stolen up until now, their souls, their wills, all remain in the spirit furnace. True, you have complete command over the spirit furnace's functions. But you have no ability to control the countless souls dwelling within. If they voluntarily decide to supply spirit energy to me, I can destroy you. Souls remain in the spirit furnace. Impossible. Such a thing. Oh God, as you desired before, I shall return this body unto you. However, it comes along with my last judgment. When Il shouts loudly, light, much like fireworks, erupts from his body. The merger with God. As though displaying its beginning, the wings on his back turn to pure white. This overly beautiful spectacle is hope for the world and despair for me. I'm sure he won't stop now. There's no way he can stop. After all, Il found the determination and came all the way here. That's why. All I can do is cling to his body in a pathetic way. You said that there are lots of things you want to do with me. That you'd want to do more chores. That you want to visit my hometown. Me too. A future with you. I wanted to be with you more. My feelings overflow and I can't hide them from him. His voice chokes up slightly, but that hesitation turns into a smile. Katone, if possible, I too. I wish to walk into a bright future with you. I don't want to let go of my heart, I don't want to become a broken puppet. More and more, alongside you, I want to learn all kinds of emotions. But the place you live, the world of all our cherished memories, will be lost at this rate. So please, don't try to stop me anymore. In the end, let me act like a man. I want this view of me to be burned into your memories. With a gentle voice, Il steps further ahead. Then, as though shaking off all lingering attachments, he takes a big breath and raises his head. My brethren return to the furnace. My sins. Open your eyes and awaken now. With emotion, offering up his soul to God, he shouts loudly, As your judge, I use my authority to break your slumber. As a part of God, I shall allow you to think of what is right and what is wrong. You may ally yourself with God. You may ally yourself with me. If after touching my heart in Michael, something inexplainable is born within your chest, I shall not restrict you. Act according to those emotions. Stop. God's control doesn't make it in time. The spirit furnace floating in the sky temporarily stops its absorption actions. It begins to pulsate. From there, without God's command, countless bits of light fall like snow. The souls in the spirit energy. Each one has a will, a soul. Deceased angel. Affirmative, angel of judgment. While we do not fully understand the meaning of your remarks. Actually, I'll use an echo for this. Heeding your shouts along with this warmth dwelling in my chest, I choose to bestow my assistance to you. Some of them ally themselves with Il. You've got to be joking! You killed me without the slightest change of look on your face! There's no way I would help you! Some give themselves to God. As more and more light falls into Il's body. In this case, I must simply destroy you before you gain enough spirit energy. Without waiting for the angels to finish, God decides to eliminate Il. Just like when he was being controlled, giant circles of light stack onto each other and collect the falling light. Activating large-scale destruction spell, rank 2, Cherubim. Due to the merger, and focusing on absorbing spirit energy, Il can't counterattack or defend himself. After a span of only seconds, the arrogant light of God's wrath faces us. Target locked. I shall pass judgment upon these foolish puppets myself. As though interrupting that.
I shall not allow it!
Like saying he won't let his friends die. A life in sacrifice. An angel full of song. The spear of the oracle is lunged into the air. The desperate throw crashes into God's strike.
God!
With the recoil, the intruder from the tower, Solitis is blown away, but disregards this and shouts.
Now! Pass judgment! Fulfill your god-slaying! My friend, Fado derriere!
As I'm responding to his shout. Gently, the last grain. No. 2 grains of red and blue spirit energy fall into Ill's body. Go, our friend! If our souls will suffice, we shall push your back as far as need be. Taking them onto his palms, as though embracing them, Ill takes them into his body, then. To stop this! I still. This peace. This perpetuity. This power. I shall not give it up. God's final decree finally reveals his true nature. Ignoring the begging, Ill declares. Absorption of spirit energy complete. Reconstructing the Seraphim spell into my unique construction. Seraphim, the strongest of attack spells that is said to hold power sufficient to destroy the sun. While it normally takes a different shape, Ill reformed it into a bow and arrow to use it against God. In the human world, this term is coined to a class of high-ranking angels. Light gathers. To end everything. Light to take the person I cherish away. A shining bow and arrow. It appears into Ill's hand. And he draws it, aimed at God's center. The merger with God progresses. As emotions vanish from his eyes. Overflowing light gathers into the arrow's tip. I'm sure when it all gathers there, the approaching end will be near. No matter what reasons I'm told, there's no way I can accept it. Do I want to cling to him? Or do I want to support him? Even I don't know. All I do is desperately embrace his body. But Ill, losing the ability to even understand the meaning of my trembling. This really is scary. Letting go of my emotions myself. My body is here, but it's as though I've become sand and am crumbling away. But yet, he continues despite the noise in his voice. Thinking the other way around. If losing it is so regrettable and so scary, that means something valuable was born inside me. There's no mistake. That's you. And Enchante, where you are. That's why. It won't be meaningless. I won't let it turn to nothing. His heart, his emotions that he finally reclaimed are disappearing. He's turning empty. Ah, it may be soon. What did scary mean? And hardship? What was that? I can't even remember that. Well, all I can do is grieve at the unfair fate before my eyes. Kotone, am I smiling? A somewhat gentle voice drops. Huh? When I look up, Il is desperately using his broken emotions to give me a smile. Do I have the smiling face you said you like? If possible, until my final moment, I want to keep it. Strength leaves Il's knees, but I quickly support him. This is no good. No matter how he arranges his words, his will is unchanged. And I came to like that honest and straightforward Il. I can't deny that. In that case, at least, it's okay, Il. Your smile is really beautiful. With a pathetically shaking voice that even I want to laugh at, I answer. Then I shut my eyelids tight and force the tears blurring my sight to fall out. To bring his smiling face into my eyes. Thank you. Drops flow from Il's eyes as well. Ah, as I thought. Emotions are truly mysterious. Tears can flow for reasons other than sadness, it seems. I see. Before breaking, I finally understand. These tears, together with memories with you, can't be put into words. This final remaining, this emotion, must be. Already, you probably lost self-awareness. But Il's voice, desperately stringing words together, are brimming with happiness. Kotone. That promise, I'll fulfill it now. In the end, I have something to tell you. Promise? Ah, right. Il finally reached it. What he promised to declare back then. The signal of our parting, that emotion. But I was the one who made him promise, wanting to teach him. So I won't say anything selfish anymore and accept his words straight on. Okay. I said I would wait after all. Tell me, Il, with that smile and voice I like so much. Il makes a small nod at my words, narrows his eyes with fading light. I'm glad I was born into this world. I'm glad I met you. I love you. That was his last song. His fingers fall limp with no strength. The bow of judgment is released. The grand body of God shatters into shards of metal, and at that time, all of Heavenly World Kaelm is engulfed in a gentle light. Wait, what? Credits? No! I hope it was a happy ending. I could totally see this, like, going either way. Oh, man. Just destroy your emotions at the end. Freaking wrecked. I don't even know what to say. This game has just, like... has just... emotionally exhausted me. With, like, every route just getting more and more sad, I feel like. I guess it's good we did Canis first. Canis' route felt like more full of hope. Oh yeah, like every other route just evokes different emotions of betrayal and whatnot. Oh man. This is the fourth one. We have one more after this though. I did like that they also made Solida's fall. I wish they could have shown his black wings though. That would have been like the icing on the cake. Alright. The end of the credits. When we get our happy ending. I want to see. What's going on? Why are we in this room? I see a pod! To my cherished Katone. Is this the letter that Il wrote? If you're reading this letter, then everything must have ended as we hoped. Please forgive me for explaining everything to you, much after the fact. However, I simply couldn't bear to reveal what would happen to me to you beforehand. But if I did, in the end, I wouldn't want to leave your side, and I would betray my determination to oppose perpetuity. After slaying God, I will likely enter a state near death, barely something that can be called alive. However, if by chance, if of my shattered soul, by some miracle, even the smallest fragment remains, Katone, at that time, once more, alright, Katone's perspective. The letter cuts off there. After all this time, I happened to visit his room to clean up, but to think I'd find something like this. It was shoved in the back of the shelf as if to hide it, so I assumed Il hadn't wanted it to be found. He must have written it to steel his determination, or to caution himself. Il, even to the very end, you're unfair. 1 year? 1 year? 1 year passed since he exchanged his soul to put an end to God's salvation initiative. With God slain, Cam was flung into a state of chaos. God, who had been the supreme ruler, has now disappeared, so that's only natural. In particular, the confusion of normal angels who suddenly sprouted emotions with God's death was monumental. Right now, Solitis, with Epilogy as a representative of fallen angels, and others, keep all of them in order. A world entirely dependent on God until now will likely take a long time to truly become self-reliant. During this, after slaying God, Il's emotions and soul were shattered. And afterwards, exactly as God said, this time, in the truest sense, he's no more than a broken puppet, lying strewn out and collapsed. With no strength, he cannot stand or sit, or even raise his head on his own. In fact, he doesn't even breathe. I can't hear his heartbeat. The key that saved him before, the memory server Michael in the tower, broke along with the destruction of God. With the faintest hope, we all tried taking Il to see Titania, but I can no longer see Il's mind, she said. And could do nothing but sadly shake her head. In other words, that means his soul has completely been lost. Of course, in such a state, Il can't live any sort of decent life in the human world or Enchante. So at present, he quietly sleeps alone in the nourishing tank in the tower facility, at least trying to restore his bodily functions. But even that is nothing more than a blind shot. Never again will a miracle like that occur. When God told me that back then, turns to sadness and shakes my heart. To hold back what's trying to fill my eyes, I bite my lip. I need to open the shop soon. Simply grieving won't change anything. If he was going to return, it would have happened already. There's only one thing I can do. I need to work harder as the owner. Enchante, I need to protect the place you protected. At the same time, at the summit of the tower at the center of Calm, there's Solitis. Solitis gazes at God's hallowed body with mixed feelings. While the slaying of God completely shattered the mechanical body, at Solitis' discretion, he ordered at least the outer shell should be repaired to a minimum. Of course, he had no desire to restore God. He simply wished that no one could ever exert a will for domination is allowed on Calm. It is to remain as a symbol of warning.
Although I'm in no position to criticize God.
How many times have I repeated this line? As Solitis thinks this to himself, the presence of a familiar man appears at his back.
Yo, Solitis! I thought I didn't see you around, so I figured you'd be here. Whenever you got time, you always come here to mope.
This fallen angel, Epilogue, is a strange man. We were once enemies, and he speaks to me so casually, is what Solitis still thinks. However, he understands it's because of that personality that he's been able to prevent a fallen angel uprising to this day.
When I come here, I recognize my sins. El Fado de Rie. While I called him my friend, for an uncountable length of time, I treated him with cruelty. Well, I'm sure it's true. But even you're connected to God and under control, right? Then... that's no excuse. The things I did are my own crimes.
The wings on Solitis' back, in the end, never turned a fallen color, and remained pure white. While he understands this is due to God being slain before he completely fell, he believes his wings are the evidence of his sins. Every time he catches the sight of his wings, he says this to himself.
Now that my emotions have sprouted and stabilized, countless times I've had the urge to kill myself. Solitis, I understand. I would never flee from my sins in a way like that. I realize it won't serve as atonement, but at the very least, I won't do anything to ill again. You sure? The other angels have sent in petitions, saying to seat him as the new god, being empty. The letter it left for me also said to do that, you know. I reject that. That's merely a sacrifice guised as God. And even if that is what he wished, I shall never fulfill it.
I don't want to speak more on the subject. Following his own heart saying this, Solitis decides to change the subject.
The time approaches for Ill's scheduled physical examination and maintenance. Let's go.
Saying this to Epilogue, Solitis heads to the nourishing tank where he sleeps. However, inside the nourishing tank where he should be, it was empty. Looking on the floor, there seems to be shards of broken nourishing tank.
You're kidding! He's gone? He can't move on his own. Did the guys saying they want to make him the new god carry him off? Wait, this is no time for thinking it out. We need to search Kale right. There's no need for that.
Epilogue looked like he'd fly off at any second, but Solitis stops him. The shards on the floor are from inside towards the outside. After seeing them strewn like this, you already had a guess.
He also wrote in his letter that even a fragment of the soul remains. Wait, but even if that's right, his emotions. True. They were lost completely. However, did you forget? The reason he abandoned emotions, and why he regained emotions. It was all for Kotodiawaki.
In that case, the one to recreate emotions in him from square one. Whoops. Turn back on the voice modulator.
The one to recreate emotions in him from square one would be her.
Alright, back to the cafe. It was like any other day at Cafe Enchante. Really building it up here. Several hours later, the customers order coffee and snacks, depending on their mood, and relax around this time. Usually today, all of the regulars had been around since morning. No, all of them but one. So today is exactly 1 year since then. Maybe because of that, the abnormal weather from then, the wormhole opened by Calm is being covered again everywhere. Well, the scale was huge after all, and there was an evacuation warning. It's not possible to completely cover up the info.
As for Ill, is he still sleeping there?
For a moment, Kana sends a consoling look in my direction, but as though saying I don't mind, I wave my hand and smile. While everyone talks about Ill with consideration, that makes me far sadder.
Seeing how the heavenly world has not sent word, things mustn't have changed.
He really is an idiot. It was only 3 days, you know. That's all. The time he had with real freedom and his own heart. Being satisfied with only that, and without telling me, he went off on his own and ended up like that. That's right. His life was far too unfree. That just means, to Ill, what he gained here at Enchante was just that big. If that's true, I'd be happy. But among that, not having you here too makes me this sad, ill. Luckily, nobody heard me say that to myself. Afterwards, a while later, in another coincidence, everyone had some business to attend to. Rindo heads to the GPM. Everyone else needs to go back to their own worlds for a time. To see off today's last guest, Miser, I stand in front of the gate. Today's coffee was delicious as always. Thanks! I'll be awaiting your visit tomorrow, too. Miser grabs the doorknob and goes to open the door, but as he says and stops for a moment. By the way, didn't you hang the sheets in the backyard today? I think it's supposed to rain in the evening. Oh, that's right. Thanks for reminding me, Miser. Alright, I'll go right now. Sheets in the backyard, huh? That reminds me of the story before. As long as that place and this shop exists, I'm sure the memories between you and her will never fade. Ill. After hurrying into the backyard, I quickly started taking down the sheets. Alright then. The sheets used in my room are small, so I finished those really easily, but... Whoa! The sheets used in the other rooms are a lot bigger, and they're rather hard to handle. I struggle and manage to carry one inside, but there's still a lot more. This always reminds me of... That certainly isn't a sad memory. It was a fun, beautiful memory. I remember talk about that day. I feel like even now, I can hear a singing voice. I smile and go to continue my work. A strong wind blows, and the sheets blocking my view ahead flutter. In that moment, I see a gap between floating white curtains. It has to be an illusion. Huh? I begin to make out the illusion. As though it could fall over at any moment, with staggering steps, it begins to walk towards me. The white cloth, as though making way for him, flutters open widely once again. His wings are white! Before my eyes, he, with white wings on his back, stands quietly. Is this not an illusion? Then why? How? Those questions, due to my shock, do not form into words. Ill? He simply continues to stare at my face, with eyes that have lost their light. Several seconds pass. Tens of seconds pass. Then... Ooh. Oh. He speaks. What I wanted to hear for so long, his clear, beautiful voice. But who are you? That single line tells me the reality that I've been lost from his mind. However, I'm the owner of Enchante here, Kotoni Owaki. Feeling that him simply standing here is more than enough, I say my name with a smile. Kotone Owaki. When I said my name with a smile, Il closes the distance more and stares intently at my face. Then, it really was slowly, gradually, his eyes. Kotone Owaki. Ah, right. I needed to see you again. So long, I searched only for you. I don't know why. The light returns. Why was I searching for you? That's because deep in my chest, part of me begs to scream. But all I can do, unable to control my overflowing, heated emotions. Most likely, you had the same feelings as me. Much like Il, awkwardly, I can only answer in a somewhat childlike way. At my answer, Il tilts his head in a puzzled way. Same. When I speak with you, what appears in my chest is painful, but I don't want to let it go. Is it this kind of pain? Yeah. And now I can finally answer your confession. Il, I like you. I love you too. With a gentle tone of wind, my confession reaches him. Right after knowing that, the absent-minded eyes swayed gently. Right now, to me, everything is hazy. I don't really even know myself. However, just now, I recalled just one thing. Following this feeling, what should I do? Another smooch. He gently draws me in close. I don't resist, and our lips touch. It was different from the nervous kiss that night. As though confirming my existence, a kiss seeking all of me. Ah, that's right. This warmth is yours. As Il opens his heart, I see a light in his eyes. The tone of his voice all returns. This is what I have always wanted. As the letter he left before said, remaining in his body, a single shard of his soul does its best to gather up his scattered heart. If it's not you, I couldn't stand it. The name of this emotion I have for you, the words I need to tell you. I remember it all. Gatone, I love you. I love you. Me too. I do too. I love you. Filled with only this emotion, our lips touch once again. I want to make sure that this miracle of him having returned isn't just an illusion. The pulsing of his life. Almost as though biting into it. Then his wings begin to mix with black. That's right. The angel who fell to despair before has this time fallen in love. Finished. Aw. Alright, we know what happens at the end though. There it is. Prologue 5.
Wind brushes the infinite, colorless world like a breath. When he leaves, I'll be alone again. And if he returns, I'm certain all I would have for him is apathy. Yes. That's right. This is unfair.
Oh, that was it. Okay, I was like, wait, I hear a voice. A new prologue is now unlocked. Miser's route is now unlocked. Finally, we had to do all the other routes to unlock them. Okay. Oh man, that was creepy. All those prologues just building into Miser's route. Let me pull up the operation guide so it doesn't throw me at the opening. But yeah, overall, Ill's route, I liked it. And like the first two chapters were like what you typically would see like an otome game until the end of chapter 2. And then just like threw you into fantasy. Into fantasy sci-fi. Which is what we kind of expect from this game now. More thought this game is about coffee? Nope. But yeah, Ill. I really liked Ill's, like, all his imagery and, like, CGs were just immaculate. He's a really attractive character, I gotta say. But yeah, I do wish they could have, like, maybe turned his wings completely black and, like, maybe turned Solitus's wings to black as well. But of course they explain it away as, like, oh, like, since God is gone, none of the angels change colors now. Maybe they just explained it that like only God stains fallen angels to like mark them for death or something. But yeah, it was good. And I am very eager to start Miser's route. I want to see how this all ends. So in the next episode, we will do the prologue. And just kind of... There should be new options. Before in the prologues, there weren't really any options to hang out with Miser. So there should be like probably new options now. And we'll set that up in the prologue, and yeah, after that we'll get to do Miser's route at last. The Demon Lord. Alright, anyway, I hope you guys had a fun time with this. I was kind of scared at the end, to be honest. I was like, this could go either way. This could be like a good ending or a bad ending for Il. Like, he could just be like in a vegetative state. But of course they turn it around at the end and like, he remembers everything. But I was kind of scared, because usually they don't bait you for that long. Yeah, like, the other chapters didn't bait you for that long before, like, giving the romantic ending. Anyway, just rambling at this point. I hope you guys had a fun time with this, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.